Hermione, what's that a picture of? We can't have that.
I was wondering myself. What?
All right. Hello, my name is Mario Signorello, and welcome to CBO TV's Old School versus New School, where we have two experts debate 5 different questions of the hottest topics in baseball. Our guests and you, the voter, the viewer, get to vote, as well as myself and Judge Juan Rivera. Our contestants and experts is 55-year-old Mike Razzo from New York, who truly epitomizes you can take the boy out of New York, but you can't take the New York out of the boy. Lifelong Yankee fan, Desert Storm veteran. Mike, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Good, very beautiful Sunday morning here in South Florida. Just prayers and wishes go out to the people of Northwest Florida who got hit by the terrible storm this week. Hopefully they're being helped.
And our new school expert is 22-year-old Antonio Aponte. After his bar mitzvah, they thought he was headed to law school, but when you have baseball in your blood, you kind of change your circuit a little bit. And Antonio truly epitomizes the new era of baseball, people. Antonio, welcome.
Thank you, Mario. Hello to all the viewers. Like Mike said, beautiful day down here in South Florida. My prayers and wishes go out to everyone up north and through the Carolinas and Georgia. Let's get this debate started, guys.
I am sitting in for our host, Hermione DePaul, today, who should be back next week. Juan Rivera, originally from Dominican Republic, is one of our judges, and I'm also a judge. The winner gets a lunch at Spanky's The Hog Barbecue in Pompano Beach. All right, let me see. This is our second live episode. Mr. Aponte, you won the first one, so who would you like to get the first question, or would you like to punt it to Razzo?
I'll be the home team. I'll punt it to Razzo.
All right, Razzo, who's on the Mets Mount Rushmore?
The Mets Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, the other team in New York.
I didn't know there was another team in New York, but Tom Seaver for sure has got to be on there. The guy was just one of those 70s pitchers that was just absolutely phenomenal. Go out there every 5th day, throw 120 pitches, win games. Then he was the first guy out of the dugout for, cheering on his teammates. The guy was just the epitome of a ball player, even though he was a Met. I did get to watch him a lot on WOR in New York. He's definitely on there. One would argue Mike Piazza, because Piazza basically carried the Mets during the late 1990s and early 2000s. He did well.
Who's that?
Mike Piazza.
Got it.
I'm a throwback guy, and the first 3 or 4 years for the Mets, they were absolutely horrible. But one of the greatest coaches and has one of the greatest characters in baseball of all time. His name was Casey Stengel. And I think he deserves to be up there as well. And I know I'm probably leaving guys out. And I know DeGrom is a great pitcher. And I know there's been other excellent Mets. But Ed Kranepool came before Hernandez, and he's overlooked a lot. So it's a toss-up between Kranepool and Hernandez. So I don't know. Go with Hernandez because he's a Hall of Famer, I guess.
Aponte.
Mike was struggling with that one. There is another team in New York, Mike.
I do not like it.
I will agree with Seaver. I think he was a great pitcher, probably the best Met pitcher of all time. I am going to put DeGrom on the Mets Mount Rushmore. Couple of Cy Youngs, excellent pitcher for the Mets. Injuries kind of derailing things for him now, but absolutely belongs on there. I think the biggest one that Mike missed was Mr. Met himself. David Wright has to be on there. Really the heart of the team for many, many years. One of the best Mets players of all time. And then my last one, I'd go Dwight Gooden. Great pitcher for the Mets. Helped them win that World Series. The miracle team in the 80s. Definitely a solid 4 for me. I think Mike missed a couple of new school guys that really deserve to be on there. So DeGrom, Wright, Seaver, and Gooden.
Thank you.
David
Aponte, we're gonna stay with you. We're gonna stay with you. It's the 9th inning, 2 outs. You're down 1. Who are you gonna give the? Who do you want up to bat for your team?
Shohei Ohtani. Easy answer. Best hitter in baseball. Probably best pitcher in baseball too, which is just an added bonus. So he can go into the top of the 10th if he strikes out and give me a cleanup inning. But Ohtani, by far, best hitter in the game right now. Even with a torn ligament in his elbow, he's still hitting home runs. Still up there amongst the leaders in home runs, batting average, RBIs. Even though his team's not very successful, he's a one-man show, one-man army. And I wouldn't want anyone else other than Shohei Ohtani at the plate. Guy's a great hitter, clutch hitter. I really think he would come in the clutch. And like I said, if he doesn't, I can put him in the 10th as a pitcher.
Mike?
Shohei Ohtani's unicorn days are over. Buddy. He's not one of the best pitchers. He did well as a pitcher. I'm not going to argue he's not a good hitter. He's a very good hitter on a very bad team. Obviously, with Trout in front of him or in back of him, he's definitely a different guy. But my heart's going with Aaron Judge because look what he's doing with a torn foot ligament right now. He's hitting home runs every day for the past week, and we're playing against tougher teams, and we're not doing well. The guy is doing exactly what he has done the past 3 years, carried the New York Yankees. So for right now, to answer that question, it's Aaron Judge because he is today's best on the field baseball player, hands down. Ohtani hasn't proven himself yet defensively, and what little we have seen, his defensive metrics, just so you look, I looked them up, they aren't that good. So I'm going with my boy Aaron Judge. There are arguably a lot of players you could put in that situation, but for this debate, the big donkey's got to do it.
All right. Well, thank you for that and throwing on the defensive parts of offensive question. Next one, Razzo, you're still up. At what age should leagues be allowed in baseball? What age should kids be playing that you allow leads?
Well, it's pretty simple for me, being a high school baseball coach for many, many years and a local youth travel baseball coach for many, many years and been involved with baseball since I'm 6 myself. I think that the 12-year-old year is the year where you need to start teaching leads because as they approach 8th grade, the year before high school, they've got to be ready. And if you think they're going to be ready during the summer of 8th and 9th grade and get to the high school 60-90 field, it just doesn't work. So it just takes longer for them to be trained if you have proper coaching, which doesn't always happen as well. So I think the 12-year-old year, whether you're playing Little League or 12-year-old travel baseball or middle school baseball, which is almost non-existent here in Florida, or it is, but it's just not any good. I think it's a good age for them to learn how to do it. Not for wins and losses, just so they're familiar. And it really weeds out the
10
kids.
seconds.
It really weeds them out. If you can steal and you can run, you've got a better chance of making your high school team just as a utility pinch runner in many cases.
Thank
so
you.
It teaches another aspect of the game.
Thank you. Antonio.
I couldn't agree more with Mike. I think he's right about everything. It's an aspect of the game. Why stop kids from doing it? The only thing I disagree on is the age of 12. I say let them do it younger. The second kid pitch starts, why not let him get a lead? If you're going to be facing a pitcher that's not a coach, that pitcher could pick off the runner. The kids need to learn the part of the game that is going to be with them the rest of their lives. Stealing, getting picked off, trying to make it to the next base is a part of the game. As young as it can be, I think they should do it. Kid pitch is a good age to start. Around 8 years old is, I think, when most kid pitch leagues start. Teach them another aspect of the game that, like Mike said, could help them get better, make a high school team, and make them a better athlete. So I don't really agree with Little League on the leads that they take and the ceiling that they take on the base. It doesn't make sense to me. I understand the fields are smaller, but so are the players. And I think it's a really good lesson, and
10 seconds.
it's something that's being pushed in Major League Baseball too with the new rule changes. And so we should try to push kids to become better base stealers.
Time. Mike, I'm going to allow a 30-second rebuttal. Antonio, you too.
The big problem with what my counterpart just described is that the younger ages aren't efficient defensively either. So you have what's called run rule games where they're scoring 10 runs in 2 innings and the game is over and it was 1 hit. So you don't want too many bases being stolen at 8U and 9U and 10U. Let them concentrate on throwing and catching and hitting. And you could teach steals, but the rules in most organizations down here in South Florida and even in Long Island, where I'm from, those younger ages, they didn't teach 12
Thank
years.
you. Antonio.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair, but at the same time, if those kids are running up 10, 15 runs on the opponent, chances are they're probably getting walked, balls are getting passed, and they're going to advance anyways. Why hinder the kids that are winning because their opponents just aren't, as good as them? Let the kids steal bases. Let them learn a part of the game that is going to be a part of the game for the rest of their lives, and it's being pushed by Major League Baseball. If they want to be like their favorite athletes, let them steal bases.
Thank you. All right. Next, Antonio, question number 4. You're up for this one. Mike Trout or Mickey Mantle?
Yeah, this was a toughie. I don't think there's a wrong answer or a right answer. I picked Mike Trout simply because he's a new school guy. If you look at their statistics through their first 12, 13 years, it's almost identical. Trout's got Mantle in home runs and extra base hits. Mantle's batting average was about 7 points better than Mike's. And Mantle has, more rings than Mike Trout, but that's more of a team thing. Trout has a couple of more awards under his belt, MVPs. Trout's 3 to Mantle's 2. So it's very even. The only reason I would go with Trout is because baseball's better in the age of Mike Trout than it is in Mickey Mantle's age. He's facing better competition, better pitchers, more sophisticated analytics against him to try to beat Mike Trout. And I just think the game is just harder today than it was in the 50s. And if the guys have identical statistics, you have to pick the player that's playing in a better era, and that's Mike Trout.
Mr. Razzo, I look forward to hearing your thoughts.
I got 2 words for you. Holy cow. God rest his soul, Phil Rizzuto. Mickey Mantle is one of the greatest baseball players of all time. He's known as the Commerce Comet for a reason. And then he played on 2 broken legs for 7 years in a row and won MVPs and championships. I mean, Trout's a great ball player day and age, but you put Trout in Mickey's time against the guys that Mickey had to face, no chance he's going to be the player he was. Mickey Mantle,
what?
536 home runs. Listen, the game has been softened up, Mr. Aponte. These guys that are playing today aren't playing the game of the 50s, 60s, and season 70s. They just aren't. Nobody throws the ball inside. Nobody throws the ball at you. And when they do, it's a travesty. Oh, my God, what did he do? It's a criminal offense. You're off on this one. Now, I'm not saying Trout's not a great ball player. I'm not taking anything away from the man. You can't compare what Mickey Mantle's career did. Just look at Mickey Mantle's OBP, and it answers all the questions.
Permission to talk. 20 seconds. Antonio.
The reason it's a travesty now of guys throwing sides because they're throwing 95 to 100, not 75 like in Mantle's day. I'm just kidding. I'm not solely serious about that, but the pitchers are way better today. Mantle had 500 home runs out of his career. Trout's already at 300 and change. He's going to catch Mantle.
Thank you.
Guys got a lot to learn.
Last question, and Mike, you get to lead it off. Why are home runs up and batting averages down?
It's a multi-answer question. One, it's marketing. Home runs draw. And people come to stadiums, drink beer, and buy popcorn and hot dogs to see guys hit the ball out of the park, even though it's effectively not the way to win baseball games. On average, a team wins baseball games by the home run 25, 30 games a clip on average, if you're looking at stats. The bottom line is they're teaching launch angle, and launch angle creates fly balls, which are cans of corn, easy outs, and less home runs statistically when it's important to hit a home run. Now, we're all enamored with the home run, and I believe it's
10 seconds.
I believe, once again, it's another part of the game that's never going to go away. We all love the big bomber, but I'm taking batting average and on-base percentage over home runs all day long.
Thank you. Antonio.
I think to actually answer your question and not to go on a rant, I think batting average is down and home runs are up because the baseballers are juiced. That's number one. Two, pitchers are getting better. And when you combine both of those, you're going to get more home runs and the batting average is going to go down because if you hit the ball, it's going to go. And if you don't, you're going to strike out. And that's what we're seeing. Pitchers are getting better. And we've seen MLB try to hinder that by changing the rules to make it more of an offensive game. They try to ban the sticky stuff. I think it still might be a problem. But pitchers are just getting better. And we're kind of moving into a dead ball era. And the commissioner's office is trying to fix that by juicing the balls, whether they admit it or not. And balls are flying. In terms of batting average and home runs and all that, listen, the analytics also show that
10
guys
seconds.
that can hit for power are just going to win more games than guys that don't. And that's why Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, and guys like that are just more valuable than Luis Arraez. It's just the truth.
Thank you. All right. Good one. You both wanted to jump out of your chair on two questions. That's good. And they were different questions. And Mike, you didn't curse. I'm proud of you. All right, let's bring our Judge Juan in and see what he thinks.
Hello, can you see me?
Put him
We
up
can
on
hear
the
you.
screen, Armani.
I'm not seeing myself. Can you hear me?
We don't see you either, but we can hear you. So
Okay.
see if we can fix the technical difficulty. See your smiling face. But it's your words we want to hear.
Okay. Well, great. Good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful day here well, I'm actually in New Jersey right now, headed to New York, and it's beautiful out here. The weather is cool, which is something that I miss a little bit, being in South Florida now. But I'm headed real close to Yankee Stadium, Mike.
Nice, baby. River Avenue, baby.
Yeah.
All right,
Anyway,
who won?
I think that it was very close, but I have to go with Mike on a lot of the issues. The first question was what again? Remind me.
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore for the Mets. That one
Right.
I have to go with Antonio because Mike left out Dwight Gooden, which was a very important part of the Mets, as well as Darryl Strawberry. But that's here or there. So I'm going with Antonio on that one. The second question. Second question was what?
The ninth inning. Ninth inning. Who do you want up to bat?
I'm going with Mike on that. Aaron Judge. I want Aaron Judge there to hit.
You don't have to review all the questions. That's fine, Juan. If you think you got Mike as the winner, I got it too.
I think Mike is the winner. Also, Mickey Mantle. The stealing of the base. It was very close, but I'm going with Mike.
Thank you. There were some things that we started up. Mike pulling up Casey Stengel was pretty good. It's almost like, how do you leave him off when you had Lasorda? Antonio seems like when Mount Rushmore comes, you haven't had coaches there, but you had very good players that were there. All of them were good players. But for me, Keith Hernandez kind of had to be on as a Hall of Fame player. David Wright's probably might be in the Hall of Fame, but Keith Hernandez and Keith Hernandez got a ring with the Yankees. So that tilted mine a little bit. I don't think you can go wrong with either of your answers of who do you want to bat. Mantle or Trout. Trout's got to keep doing it in order to overtake him. But right now, Mickey Mantle showed up and played every day and went through things, and in an era of where everyone's not perfectly made, Mantle was physically better than other players. Ages of stealing. I see this a lot, and I thought that they should have waited till they were 12. That they're just not physically capable. In my opinion, if it's an 8 or 9 year old game and the kid gets on first base, he's automatically on third, and that's not. That's while you're fundamentally were correct, Antonio, because they don't have the physical parts and they're ready to do it. I actually thought Mike would have chosen an earlier age, but sometimes he is pragmatic. And then the launch angle one was interesting because I mean the last one, because your argument was the balls are juiced for home runs, but why does that not help batting average? So it didn't go with it. So for our second live edition, Antonio won the first one. We're now tied. I got Mike in a close one as the winner, and you'll be going to Spanx the Hog Barbecue. Since Antonio won, maybe you guys could go together and argue some more there. Another great show, gentlemen. I enjoy the banter, and I enjoy listening and learning across there. If you like our show, please subscribe, CBO-TV on YouTube. And thank you, and have a great day. Happy Sunday.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.
Have a nice day. Okay.
Make
thanks.
sure to like
Bye-bye.
and subscribe, guys.